Once upon a time, finished watching Addy and Vid tie a bunch and went, okay, I'm out of energy. Hopefully they're stopping because if they're continuing, I can't watch. And they stopped. And I felt, yes, life is good. And then 3 minutes later, we're back with TTAC. And okay, let's try it. What are the rules? All normal rules. Let's find the stips. I closed this after our last viewing. I like seeing Anna and Elven Prince. That's fun. You rarely see people run A763s. There is a reason for that, but it's fun to see them together. And we just have this massive A766s that feels like it is huge directional issues, but might be kind of fun in action. A766s are a card I think I've historically underrated. Uh, every time you check a hand with Monsieur Solver that has A7 sixes in it, the solver goes like, this hand is better than you think it is. Meaning me. Maybe not you, the listener, but meaning me. It's sort of, I've broken down some of the traits, like offense and defense of a hand. Offense is like how much it can press for a win on first turn, and defense is how safely it can hold ties on second turn. Because the way I check it, that's how it ends up looking. It assumes a first turn advantage, but in a way that I think makes sense. And A7 sixes are just good defensively. They're like chunky in a way you might not fully, or I might not fully get. I shouldn't make assumptions about you. You might be, uh, you know, on a totally different wavelength. Okay, what are the actual rules? Must use two level 9s. Yep. We get Elven Prince and Anna, and we have A565 and 8A26. All cards must have a 6, max of 2 A9 corners. So Frodo went for 1 A9 corner, and Vid went for 1 A9 corner. Vid went for 0 A9 corners. I would go for 2 A9 corners, personally. I'm surprised we're not seeing like Squall Cipher type stuff. Or Una, that kind of thing. I quite like those combos, personally. Anywho, otherwise, Vid has an A in each direction, which Frodo does not have, but the game is rightward oriented. Now that's already Terra. We can see why Vid played Terra, because that's already a quite difficult card for Frodo to take. One of the things about going in 5 is you really either need to have huge setups for yourself, or you cover everything. And if you don't cover everything, the problem with 5 being occupied is you can't play 5 again. So if you don't have 8, you're never going to have 8. Like, yes, you could play 3, 6, A7, and 7. But as soon as 8 is blocked, like, that was the card you needed for 6. So 8 is just gone. Frodo will never have 8. 8 is over. And annoyingly, if Vid plays 8, it's going to be 8-1-8A, and that is also going to be safe. Oh, yeah, this looks really difficult. It's really difficult. So, okay, there's a few directions you could go. You go maximum synergy yourself. You play something like 7A66 and 1, and you say, Cloud is really good in both 2 and 4. Depending how it plays out, maybe I can land 3-6-A7 and 3 and make Cloud also really good in 6. It doesn't matter that you'll have your own safe cards. As long as I can flip back my own, I can hold, and I'm going to be good at flipping back my own cards. You could also play, instead of 7A66 and 1, you could play Cloud in 1, and then A736 as these squares. And A736 has more play in 8 because it has the plus wall. So maybe that's the better way to handle it. But my point is there are kind of a few ways you could set up to have a bunch of different squares. You probably wouldn't want to play A736 in 1, because even though you have a same in 2 and some plus walls in 4, you don't really need it to combo through 1. But the bigger problem with that is you just have it on different cards, and it would be nice to keep one card for your endgame recapturer. So maybe 1. He goes 2, and Vid's just going to build out safety. Or is he? Okay, well, this is risky. This is risky. What happens if Frodo plays 3? If Frodo plays 3 and Vid plays 1, then maybe Frodo can play 7 and have A736 for 4 and 8, but I guess Vid won't have to ever flip 5 in that line. That's annoying. That's annoying, but it feels like there might be tools here where you can walk into the combos and then save yourself down the road. But I'm not sure, it's clumsy. It's tough. You really wish Vid had to flip 5 at some point. Okay, you could play safely in 1 if you're Frodo. Say, sure, yeah, Vid, you can have 3. That's fine. You don't flip anything, it's 5-5, and I can just play in 8. Okay, so 3-6, A7 and 1, something in 3, not sure what yet, and then say A7, 3, 6, and 8 with Cloud as sweeper. Cloud is sufficient sweeper there. You can safely combo from 7, but that combos 8 ace 2 6 is safe in 7, but it combos through 8 to hit 5, so Cloud combos back. I think 3 6 A7 and 1 might do it because it blocks 1, so if they don't go in 3, you're now threatening to go in 3, and it's hard for them to punish you with a combo through Krelian at the end because A7 3-6 is nice play against Krelian. So the move in 2 is actually interesting. Like, this is a very interesting way of playing from Frodo. He plays a card in 5 that he doesn't have huge setups with, but he does have plus walls off. And then he puts a card in 2 that is weak to 5, such that those chains, getting rid of the square he didn't have combo play, and such that any chain he has goes through it. I think he should be okay. Okay, I retract it. I don't think he should be okay. But I think 1 might have. I think 1 probably held, and held in kind of nice fashion, with nice sweeping and nice potential, and showing some of the strength of what he did early game here. This move in 8 seems like it's not the answer. Now, Doom Train showed a lot that you can give up the distant column if you have a middle column that is pretty strong facing out. But here, I just don't think it's strong enough facing out. But some lines you get basically the idea I said through a different move order. If Vid goes 8-1, 8A, and 3, you can now play 3-6, A7, and 1, and Cloud actually does hold for the same combo-y reasons through 5. Interesting. Yeah, so 3 doesn't win. Okay, so this is very similar to what I was saying. So then there's the question of, can you play 7? And maybe you can. So let's say Tifa in 7. But no, Cloud is good at the end. Tifa in 7 is met by Anna in 4. Okay, can you play 8A2-6 in 7? That flips more cards, right? That makes it 8-2. So now Anna in 4 is met by 1 and you don't flip enough. But you play Cloud in 6? I think 8A2-6 and 7 wins. It flips everything, so it's 8-2. And if Cloud in 4, that flips back 3 cards, so it's 5-5. But you can just go 1 and Anna's dead in 3. And yeah, your other cards aren't good sweepers. Okay, I think 7's the win. But we don't see it. Alright, now Anna in 1, unless I'm being completely deranged, holds the tie. Yeah, are all rules on? All rules are on. I think there was a win, and I think Vid didn't find it here. I haven't been solvering the last few games that I've been commentating, and I guess I won't solver this one either. But I think 7 should have won there. Very strange games. Shout out to Doom Train, who showed that you can defend these positions a lot more than I at least assumed you could. And here indeed, Frodo has the tie in 1, which I hope he finds. But I suspect he saw an advance. Like, you're going to take your time checking and stuff, but you think. Curious tie. Very similar to the line I gave, right? I wanted the sequence 1, they play 3, and then you play 8, with Cloud as the sweeper. But this is the exact same position. The reason I think my way worked a little better was because this, Vid had the option of 7, and in my version it's a lot harder for Vid to play 7, though it's, I guess, possible he had it there too, and I didn't check it. So this way I think was like the worst move order, but the right idea. And I'm not sure about Vid's move in 6. And it obviously led to pressure. But there might have been a better way to do it. For instance, Frodo had no recapture in 3, so maybe you could just do something like Tifa in 1. I was assuming he was planning to play an 8 next move, but against 2, sometimes you don't want to. But maybe Tifa 1. Yeah, there were a bunch of options. There were lots of ways to play it. Just throwing out other ideas. Frodo has picked up Cloud. Now, Cloud is not the answer because Anna can't sweep. Okay, put down Cloud. Right, because Cloud in 1 is met by 8A2, 6, and 4, going up 7, 3. Cloud in 4 is met by either card in 1, flipping 2. And Cloud in 7 is met by Tifa in 1 when Anna doesn't flip. Gotta find Anna in 1 here. Will he do it? I think he will. But the reason you might look for other things is you feel the need to block 7 because there's that combo in 7. So if you miss that if they combo in 7, you combo back in 4, then you don't find it, but he finds it. Nice. Nicely done. Yeah. Interesting game. A lot of interesting games today. Possibly because all I've watched and all the videos you've gotten in the last week, unless I've put in StarCraft videos, is vid games. And they're always interesting. I'm curious. Let's pop the solver. It's my 6th game of commentary today, something like that, 7th. It's been a while. I'm out of shape. We get tired quick. Let's make sure I have the rules right. All rules, cool. And first turn at A639, 7A66. I'm curious what the solver thinks of the move in 2. It might have been a really good move. A736, 36A7, and Cloud. Some good synergies in that hand. It ended up playing like it didn't have the directional consistency, but it had a lot of power to combo, as we saw in a lot of variations, and fun to see it set things up. I enjoyed Frodo's hand here. I think like it needs a little directional cleaning. It's possible Frodo just doesn't have the cards to do the kind of directionally sounder versions. No, he should have. He should have enough. But really had neat synergies. Looks like we're probably not getting another game. Okay, I will check that in a moment. So let's switch over to Monsieur Solver, which should be opening in a sec. Wait, didn't I already click to open it? Yeah, I did. Okay. Get rid of that. Is it open for you? Yes, it is. Okay, so A639 here. Ooh, should we change our solver view? I think we should. Why should I get to see the results, but you don't? Let's let's change our view here. So I'm gonna, okay, this is all gonna be very confusing, but we're gonna add a new source. We're gonna do window capture. The window capture is gonna be solver output, okay? And it's gonna be the window in terminal. We're gonna put that over here. And it's gonna be very small for you. Where would be best visually for this? Should I put, no, it doesn't fit there. Put this over here. We don't need to waste time on the top bar. Get rid of that. Gives us a little more space. Maybe we can make this thinner, because you don't need to see that far of the width, and then we can make it bigger. Ooh, we're getting somewhere. You can see at the top I'm supposed to update, but I'm never going to, because then I'd have to fix other things. Okay, so it's checking moves. Now when it says 0 to 1, as you can see highlighted, that means Terra to 1. And it's saying all these moves tie. I suspect it's going to say every moves ties. Let's talk a little about the solver output. If every move, or very close to every move, ties, that almost certainly means second turn is way ahead. There should be moves that lose after a starter, or first turn is in trouble. Now, few first turn moves are outright losing, though some certainly are. So there's definitely, like, you can play an outright losing move. But in general, what you see with most, especially in hand games where the hands aren't going to be, just terribly imbalanced, you very, very, very rarely see someone outright winning after a starter. What you do see is if every move ties, that means second turn gets to choose between different ways to attack that starter, and it's likely going to be a lot of danger for first turn. So 0 to 1 means the top card Terra to 1, 0 to 4 means the top card Terra to 4, card 1 is the second card 2 is the third card 3 is the third, card 4 is the fourth, and it takes a while to run through the first move. While that's running, we can put in the second move, and I can click dump eval, and now it's going to start showing both. And you can see it's going to intersperse them. If I wanted to have them not interspersed, and you can see it's running through a lot more moves for second turn than it is for first turn. If you don't want it interspersed, you wait for it to finish, but I don't care much. We should be able to see if anything pops out as a tie. You're going to see a ton of moves are losing here, right? This is clearly very dangerous for Frodo, and he has few choices. He has 2 ties in this position, and we can look for them. We're looking for red card ties. So we have 4 to 7. So Cloud to 7. Wow. That's a weird move. You do have the recapture in 4. Okay, weird move. And is there any other ties? 2 to 7. You have to go in 7 here. Wow. Now, sort of like the last game, actually, where, or the last game I commented, there was a Vid Addy game where there was a starter in 3 and a reply in 5. And it's probably better thought of as 5 to 3, given that there weren't recaptures around 3. But the game went 3-5, and I really wanted, I think it was Addy to go in 9. But I couldn't really explain it. But part of it was Addy had no play in 6. He couldn't recapture 3 from 6. 6 was a dead, really bad square for him. And when that's the case, you often want to surround that square. Because if it's surrounded, that square is inherently valuable, and you can sort of force them to get rid of this square that is bad for you. And so my instinct in that game was with cards in 3 and 5, was my first thought was go in 6, and my second thought was go in 9. And I couldn't verbalize it, but I was trying to get rid of that square. And the only ties here are getting rid of the square 8. So maybe a good way to think, just using these examples, about, the standard things to do are go in 1, 2, or 4 here. Sometimes you can force the action in 6 or 8. But when do you want to go in 3 or 7? It's when you have a dead card next to that, a dead square. And you need to change that, even if it means giving up a square. So if we put in Frodo's move, it is losing. But you'll see it's not losing to that many things. Okay, 4 things is kind of a bunch. 4 things is a bunch. What is it losing to? It's losing to 4? Okay, only Akiyama's playing that nonsense. It's losing to 7? Only weird solver bots are playing that with any regularity. It is losing to 6, but a different card in 6. And it's losing to 8A26 in 1, not Tifa in 1. And 8A26 in 1 is a kind of a weird feeling move to play. So actually, I think given that we know there were only 2 ties, but they're in a weird square, this gives up 4 losses. There are probably moves that give up a lot fewer losses. But none of the losses are the obvious moves. It's not safety in 1. It's not Vid's idea of taking safety in 6. It's not safety in 8. None of the grabbing safeties are the wins. And there are a lot of options, which means practically, really nice move by Frodo, I think. We can also see it wasn't every move ties, but this is close. Generally speaking, on first turn, I would say an average starter, what you should treat as like this is a normal game with slight first turn advantage, because first turn has a slight advantage, is something like 2/3 of moves tie, 1/3 loses. Once you get to about 3/4 or a little more are ties, like 30 to 33 ties, maybe 30 to 32, I would think of that as a pretty balanced game. And if there's more ties than that, usually first turn is in trouble. Okay, I think a nice move by Frodo in 2. Vid plays 6. And there is only 1 tie. And I didn't find it. So I wanted Anna here. But does this lose? This loses to 4. I didn't consider 4. Oh, yeah, this blocks up the squares. Because the way I wanted to play it was if they go 3, I then can go 8. And this just transposed to the game. And if they go 8, I can go 3. Not that card in 3. I can go 3, and I'm good. But they can block 4 and set it up so if I go 3, they have this big combo back. And we have no play against that. We kind of have to get rid of 8. But we can't get rid of 8 while setting up... But any way we get rid of 8, we are susceptible to combos, and they flip an extra card. Yeah, interesting. Okay, I missed that. Frodo's way, he went in 8, which I thought lost to 7. See if that's right. It did lose to 7, 8A26 to 7. It also lost to 1. But the correct move was here. Just setting up Cloud to go off. Man, Frodo's hand had so much latent potential to do cool combo stuff. That's really fun. Interesting hand, interesting game. Some misses clearly, but like not too many. And in practice, this was a hard position for both to play and get precisely. Yeah, neat game. So the game finished with he goes 8, takes the free square in 3, but now Cloud is a sweeper, and we have ourselves a tie, with the key line being this in fact loses. All right, let me know if this is a better view for the solver so you can see the output and also like the speed at which it says stuff. Because like in the late game, you know, something like here, output's basically instantaneous. 4 moves left, it does really close to instantly. 5 moves left, say this position, you know, really close to instantaneously. 6 moves left, actually takes time. Very quick, but takes time. 7 moves left. It's one of those, okay, that'll take, 10, 15 seconds kind of thing. 8 moves left is going to take a while, and 9 moves left is going to take a few minutes from the start of the game, which is why I tend to, or that's what it is in my head. I'm not sure that's the exact numbers, but that's about how long it takes. It does, however, run faster or slower depending on what else I have open on my computer. Right now I have closed everything, so this is about the fastest you will ever see it run. But I think I want to keep this visual on the side. I think that helps. I have 2 iterations of the solver, so one of them this will look a little different. This one adds up how many moves tie and lose for you, and the other one doesn't. The other one is better in some other ways, but I quite like having this output. I think it's nice and useful and can give a quick look at the position. Generally speaking, my quick kind of heuristic is move 1, the break-even point is something like, I don't know, 10, 12 losses. If there's more losses than that, first turn is doing great. If there's fewer losses than that, second turn's doing well. Or first turn's doing well. I shouldn't say great. The positions that are really dangerous, though, is when there start to be like 10 or fewer ties. Those are very dangerous. So first turn can have some advantage. Say there's 20 ties and 20 losses. Like first turn has some advantage, but it's not like super dangerous yet. So it's very losable. But the game could still firmly go either way. Then on later turns, it starts to be more like if there's a lot of ties, you're ahead, and if there's a lot of losses, you're behind. And pretty simple on that front. Okay, that's all I got.